Hello everyone, my name is the Radman and we are here to do another Courseplay Basics tutorial. We're starting to get into the more advanced things because this episode, I bet you can guess, is overloading based on the overloader in the trailer. So first what we're going to do is we're going to set up this John Deere. The reason I'm using a John Deere instead of our little vehicle that we've been using for most of our other tests is simply because I want to get this field done today and not, next week. So this is field number 20. Let's get that dialed in. There we go. We'll just have it be automatic, and then I'm going to show you guys. I'm not going to show you guys how to use multiple tools yet, but I will show you guys how to make headlands. And we're going to have turning headlands, which basically just means that it's going to do a short stop. And there it goes, it was just generating the course. I don't know why it all of a sudden decided that the combine was facing this way when it certainly was not, but just in case you guys want to see what the course actually looks like, there's what it looks like. So we're going to come all the way around, and then we'll do that 3 times, and then we're going to start going back and forth up the field this way. So let's get this thing driving, and we don't have a combine convoy yet, so that's fine. I really should have turned on the harvester header. Anyway guys, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set up this overloader. And what we're going to do is we obviously want it to be on overloading mode, and we're going to want to do kind of what we did with the combine course from the very first episode, where we start far enough away that we're not at risk of getting tangled up with the trailer. So we'll just be really careful. We want to make sure that when it's unloading that it's not sticking out into the field, just in case the combine comes by. And so we'll set a wait point here, and that'll give it plenty of space to unload. And then we will bring it up and around this corner because I don't want it to be in the way of the combine in the field, and it won't really affect it too much, by the time it has to drive all the way around this entire course in the grand scheme of things. And then we're going to leave on automatic searching, which should work fine. Pipe position, we don't want it to save it, so we'll put the pipe in just because it can get stuck on trees and stuff. And then we want to make sure that where is the setting? Pathfinding is on, because what it'll do now is, I forgot to set the fill level setting on that. I have too many vehicles I gotta tab through. Okay, this is only 23% ready. So basically what I'm gonna set it to is about 70% and then drive on at 90%. But the reason I want pathfinding on is that will make it so that it will try and once the combine's done at least 1 full lap, sometimes 2, it will try not to run over any grain when it's going back and forth, which would be really useful if you had the crop destruction mod on, and it just in general adds realism. So now that that's all set up, we're gonna tab into the truck, and we're going to get its route set up because there's no reason that we can't. Anyway, it'll start here, and then we'll pull forward just to give it a chance to align things properly. And then we'll just use this lane, and since this is a test world, I'm just keeping traffic off, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And this pretty much just works like any other modded or any other course that's loading grain. We're obviously just going a little bit farther. Now, one thing that this version of Courseplay actually does is if you drive over multiple fill points and you fill up one silo, it will actually go to the next silo, which is something I didn't know until me and my friend were playing multiplayer and we filled up one of our silos. But anyway, so that's something you can keep in mind, is if you own multiple silos, you know, if you're using like a modded silo or something to get a greater capacity, and you have, you know, that one and your home one, you could always set your home one as the one it goes to first, and then maybe it goes and pours any overflow in the modded one, and I'm pretty sure it'll give you a message in the chat when it starts filling up your overflow one. But again, I'm not 100% certain because that was not a thing I even knew it could do until recently. And let's just do this, have it do this. And I think it can automatically set this farm silo load thing. I don't think you have to absolutely specify that. But anyway, let's get this set. It looks like I can't even see the combine, but the combine is only 50% full. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to time-lapse this unloading, and we'll see how many times the overloader fails. Like, for instance, if it gets in front of the combine to a point where neither one can move, or if some other random error happens, like it rams into the truck and can't move. Just to show you guys why, you know, having all three of these on Courseplay can be a really good thing, because I'll also probably tell you about, I'm going to speed up the video by 5 times, so just based on, you know, how long the time lapse lasts, you can surmise, you know, how much time I had that I could have been doing other things with. So yeah, that could show you, you know, how much productivity you'd gain from doing things with even one combine, with things fully automated. And now this is doing a thing where it's basically pathfinding a way around the corner, and since I put it to turn, it's going to make sure that it doesn't miss a single piece of grain, which is how I prefer to run it. When you're generating the course, you can either have it, you know, you can have it just do a turn where it'll miss the corner, or there's some hybrid mode where it does kind of a mix between the turn and the full stop. Actually, I think it's called smooth, but I don't know, I like the one where it just doesn't, you know, come to a full stop or anything. Speaking of which, we will want stop during unload activated, because if not, I can foresee us having issues where we hit into that truck, because that is something I can easily foresee happening, especially on the very first round. But anyway, let's start the time lapse. Hey everybody, I am back, so I hope you enjoyed that video. One thing I would recommend if you copy that, at least on this particular field, is the overloader probably needs to come from somewhere within the field and then go out, dump, and come back in the field. Just because if you guys noticed, there was that time, the very first time the overloader ran, it was coming so far from the north side to the south that it actually started spinning circles even with the 3 points. So you know, and something like that you can really only find out by actually testing it. So, you know, if I was to remake the course, I would just alter it slightly so that, you know, there's less of a chance of that happening, and that's just something that you can really pick up, you know, over time, because the more courses you make, the more you mess with Courseplay, the more you learn the ins and outs and what it can and can't do. So, anyway, I'm going to call that an end to this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you'll join me for the next video where we set up at least 3. I'm going to have to see if Courseplay actually supports 4 combines on the same field, but however many combines it supports, we're going to do field 5, and that's going to be basically the last video of the, not this series, but at least of the of this series centered around the combines, because that's really the last big thing that has to do with combines, is setting up an automatic overloading course. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next episode. My name is the Rad Man. Goodbye.